Game 2 of Christmas Day has the Houston Texans versus the Baltimore Ravens. Houston has already locked up their division. Baltimore is trying to lock up their division. Jay, how do you see this one playing out?
Well, I see Baltimore on a roll right now. Lamar's doing it all with his legs, with his arm. Derrick Henry is getting off. So, again, Baltimore really doesn't have a weakness on offense other than the fact that sometimes they get some penalties. Penalties is their kryptonite. They take them out of drives. They take them out of field position. And now that Justin Tucker's making his kicks, now they're really hitting on all cylinders, right? Colt, there you go.
Jay
So, yeah. Now they got to switch over to their pass defense. They got to play better pass defense. They play good run defense, but their pass defense has been a struggle all year long. So that's going to be the issue going against C.J. Stroud and these Texans with Nico Collins. Obviously, the injury to Tank Dell is huge for Houston. You never want to see that happen, but still, I think they have enough weapons through the air where they can give some problems to Baltimore. But overall, I see Baltimore being a better team right now, better on the front, on the offensive, defensive line, better skill players, a better quarterback overall. So I think you got to give the edge to Baltimore.
Yeah, pretty gruesome injury by Tank Dell. We all saw that one. That was ugly to watch. Sucks for him, sucks for the Texans. But Justin, a few weeks ago, you mentioned a little bit about the Texans defense. We know about the struggles they've had offensively. What do you like about what you've seen on the Houston Texans defense, and how can they contain Lamar?
Yeah, containing Lamar is going to be a group effort. They talked about it on the game last week about the Steelers. It's all 11 guys locking into it. Your defensive backs, your safeties coming downhill. Azeez Al-Shaair, the linebacker that was suspended for the Trevor Lawrence hit, he would have been the perfect guy to be able to spy Lamar. And look, he's not going to keep up with them, but he will at least be able to force him back to the cavalry. So that's one of the areas where I think this is really going to hurt the Houston Texans not having him there. But if you just turn on the film, the front four of the Houston Texans, and that's what Demeco Ryans likes to do, coming from that San Francisco style of defense, they want their front four getting after it. Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson Jr. Then they bring in, I got to give a shout out to Gruden's guy, Tim Settle Jr. is playing great interiorly. I really think this Houston Texans defense, that is where they get after it. They have some of the best defensive backs in the game as well, too. You got to point out Derek Stingley Jr. He's been playing great football. They embody the attitude of their head coach. When they come to the sideline, you can tell that this is a unit. They love playing for one another. But I really think they are going to miss Azeez Al-Shaair when it comes to slowing down Lamar Jackson. Again, to Jay's point, the Ravens are the most penalized team in the NFL. I think the Arizona Cardinals try to give them a run for their money today with 8 penalties in the first quarter. But the Ravens are averaging almost 8.5 penalties a game. If they hurt themselves and put themselves in second and third and long, it will allow that front four of the Houston Texans to really get after them.
Well, they're going to need to get after him. Lamar has been having a fantastic season. Colt, what have you seen from Lamar? He's having his best season throwing the ball of his entire career. He's already won 2 MVPs. What do you attribute his passing, touchdowns, and throwing the ball down the field and everything that he's bringing to the game right now? What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, he's playing lights out, dude. I mean, listen, 37 touchdowns, 4 picks. That's crazy. He's only played 15 games. When he won the MVP in 2019, he threw 36 touchdowns. He's already surpassed that. So he's just getting better and better as a passer. I think there's a lot to be said with having Derrick Henry in the backfield, being able to lean on him, get those extra yards that he doesn't have to scramble around and create as much. But he's still Lamar Jackson. He's still deadly. When he wants to make a guy miss, get out of the pocket, play street ball, there's nobody better at it than him. But at the end of the day, he's standing in the pocket. He's throwing accurate footballs down the field. I mean, he throwing the football wise, he's as good as anybody in the league right now. 37-4. Are you kidding me? And then you got Derrick Henry and a good offensive line. The other thing I think is he does a great job of leaning on his 2 tight ends, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. Those guys make a big difference. It's not like they're blowing up the stat sheet every week, but having them out there as a quarterback's best friend, check downs, flat routes, big targets in the red zone, throwing a little screen here and there. Those guys are a big part of Lamar's success. And so, I mean, Lamar's playing great. And when you really look at, their explosive plays in the passing game, he's putting the ball in the money, giving guys a chance to make plays. It's not like they have, crazy household names out there. Zay Flowers is playing good. Bateman's playing good. They've just been efficient and they're balanced. And if they can cut back on the penalties, Lamar is having as good of a passing season as he's ever had.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But in order for him to win the MVP, he's going to need a crazy thing because Jay's guy, Mr. Josh Allen, continues to play at an unbelievable level. So in order to stop Lamar on the other side, Demeco Ryans, Jay, what are you seeing from him over the first 2 years really in the NFL coaching? Because he was an unbelievable defensive coordinator, but what is he doing as a head coach that's making this team so successful?
He's got his team to believe in his system, number one, and they all play hard for him, extremely hard. They run to the football. They're good tacklers. Offensively, they play hard. They drafted a hell of a quarterback in C.J. Stroud, a great leader, which helps embody the thought of Demeco Ryans, what he wants to take place on the football field. Having a quarterback with that type of leadership is huge. Having good defensive players that follow the lead of their leaders and their head coach is huge, and they all buy in. And he did a great job of getting good players in there right away because they were very good when Demeco took over. He's done a great job of turning that thing around fast. Has a lot to do with him, has a lot to do with C.J. Stroud, and a lot of the other additions. But really, it's about the core belief that he transfers to his players. His players believe on every Sunday that they can go out and win. And that belief is huge, man. You can if you think you can, right? And that's what he makes his players believe.
It's all about culture. And you know what else is all about culture? This channel. That's right. Clean Pocket continues to show that we are bringing a team-like culture. We hit 10,000 subscribers. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Keep riding with us because we're going to take you to the moon, through the playoffs and on. Justin, we saw the Tank Dell injury. We talked about this a little bit, right? I mean, it was tough to watch.
Yeah.
How difficult would it be to continue playing a football game after seeing something like that? You saw C.J. Stroud crying. There was a bunch of guys visibly upset. How difficult is it to continue to play?
Incredibly difficult to go back out there and play. It's a violent sport. We've all seen friends of ours get injured. We know their families. We know their kids. We know their wives, girlfriends, mothers. That's what makes it so tough when you see an injury like that. And it takes me back to my second year in the NFL. We're playing the Philadelphia Eagles on prime time. Victor Cruz has a patella tendon injury in the back of the end zone. And I've never heard Lincoln Financial Field go dead quiet. They went dead quiet during that game. And Victor Cruz was the star of our team. He was the leader of the offense, him and Eli Manning. He was our big play threat. And when he went down, you could hear a pin drop. And it impacted the season. It impacted the way we finished that game. The Eagles ended up winning that game. But it is tough to see someone go down because of the personal relationships that you have. And you saw how C.J. Stroud, it was tough for him to go out there and play. The one thing they can do now is to rally around Tank, make sure he stays involved with that team, go out and play for that guy. And hopefully that becomes a rallying cry. I mean, in New York, there was a young rookie that was on the team by Odell with the name Odell Beckham Jr. that ended up stepping into that role as that next receiver, that next man up. You hear Dan Campbell talking about it all the time in Detroit. Hey, this is a violent game. This is what we signed up for. It's just sad to see a young player have to go through two devastating injuries. I know he got shot in the offseason. It just seems like he can't catch a break. So we're sending out all of our good vibes to Tank Dell. We hope you get back on the field because he was starting to do some really good things with C.J. Stroud. Started off a bit slow, but when Stephon Diggs went down, Tank Diggs was starting to assume that role of that second wide receiver. So we're sending you all of our good vibes, getting back out there, Tank Dell, and you'll be back out there healthy in no time, brother.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. It seems to me that throughout this whole conversation, Lamar seems to be the key. And it seems to be the key in almost every game. He finally got the monkey off his back and beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, he had a tough first game against them earlier this year. He beats them the second time. Colt, are you starting to view them in the same category as Buffalo and Kansas City in the AFC as we move forward towards the playoffs? Want to win money watching football? With Underdog, you could win up to 1,000 times your cash just by picking higher or lower on your favorite players' stats, like whether or not your team's running back will score a touchdown this weekend. Millions of fans have won billions of dollars on Underdog. Will you be next? Sign up now to get a free pick for your first cash entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Download the Underdog app or visit UnderdogFantasy.com to get started today.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, Lamar Jackson is playing at an MVP caliber level, better than what he was in 2019, throwing the football. They've got it figured out on offense. They're balanced. Derrick Henry's playing good. I'd put him up there with Kansas City and Buffalo. I don't know if they can beat both of those teams right now, but they keep getting better and better and better every week. He got the monkey off his back last week when they beat Pittsburgh, and I think they're playing with a lot of confidence. Look, I love watching Lamar Jackson's press conferences because when he goes up there, you can You can feel his energy. You can be like, man, I don't want a bye week, man. I'm ready to get back out there, ready to go again. I don't like to lose. I want to win. We're playing good. And I believe that from him. And when he goes out and plays like he did last week, plays like he did against the Giants, just continues to be efficient in the pass game, they're going to score a lot of points. Can their defense hold up? I don't know. But offensively, they can hang with anybody in the AFC, no question.
All right. Having said that, let's go around the horn. I'm going to start with you, Justin. How do you see this game going?
First off, I want to ask Jay, are the odds a little bit closer? Is Lamar getting a little closer to Josh Allen?
No, Saquon moved a little bit closer.
Okay, so Lamar actually's moved further away.
No, they're right there. They're if you pass a guy in second place, you know what place you're in, Justin?
Not first. Ricky
Second
Bobby.
Still second.
You ain't first, you're last.
If you ain't first, you're last.
So I think Lamar might have passed Saquon, and then Saquon might have passed him back, but still, there's a guy at first place about a mile away.
I know. And some news came out. He's been playing with a broken left hand. So the story of Josh Allen continues to grow. All right, let me make my pick and stop getting after Jay. I'm going Ravens. I'm going Ravens to win. I'm going Ravens to win the AFC North. I'm going the Ravens to make a run in these playoffs. With the addition of Derrick Henry, we see what a guy like that does to a team in this type of weather. I mean, you played with Tom Brady. What did he always say, AQ? This is when real football starts, and this is when guys like Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs show up. So I'm riding the Baltimore Ravens in this one.
Colt, how do you see it?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm taking the Ravens. They're too much for the Texans. Look, Lamar Jackson's playing well. Their defense actually played a little bit better last week. Got a pick six to end the game. I think just overall the way they're coached, they're just model of consistency with John Harbaugh. That program that they're playing good right now, and they're getting better and better each week. And with Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry back there, it's just too much. And I know they got their hands full with this Texans defense. That's really the Texans' only chance is to bottle up those two guys. But nobody's really been able to do that this year. I'm taking the Ravens.
Jay, can we bait you into taking the Houston Texans? What do you think?
Come on, Jay.
There was another injury to the Texans, Jimmy Ward, who is one of my favorite secondary guys. He plays nickel safety. He's all over the joint. He got carried off last week as well. That's a big hit for him. Anybody in the middle of that defense that plays as effectively as he does. He's a good tackler. He can play in space. He can cover. That's a big minus for him. Now you're going to replace him with a rookie, most likely. I take Baltimore. Baltimore to run away in this one. Thank you very much.
Seems like we got 4 for 4, boys. I got the Baltimore Ravens, too. I love this team. I really do. I think they're built for December football. I think they're built for January football. I think they're built for February football. They got great interior defensive linemen, and they got a good enough offensive line, and they got one of the best backs of all time. Hammer the Ravens.
Look over AQ's shoulder.
For the Ravens than Colt is for the Cardinals.
Wow. Look over AQ's shoulder up there.
There
Big 68, man. That's his squad. Come on now.
There it is.
How about them Cardinals?
That's why my head's covering them up.